So there's this new visa policy that just dropped, and every single headline is screaming about the tech industry. But you know what? They're kind of missing the real story here. The true shockwave isn't hitting Silicon Valley. It's headed straight for Wall Street. And today, we're going to unpack how one single fee is about to totally reshape global finance. Just look at that number for a second. $100,000. Let that sink in. That's the staggering new price tag for a single new H-1B visa application. We're not just talking about a little fee increase here. This is a full-on policy earthquake.
All right, so to really get what's going on, to understand all the fallout from this, we've got to break it down. Let's dive into the 100K visa shockwave and see what this new H-1B policy is actually all about.
Okay, so here's the deal. A massive $100,000 fee is now being slapped on all new H-1B applications. Now, the key word there is new. This doesn't touch renewals. It doesn't affect folks who already have a visa. Nope, this is aimed squarely at the pipeline of fresh talent trying to get into the U.S. workforce. And this is why it's such a huge deal, especially for India. I mean, why does it hit so hard there? Well, just look at the numbers. Last year, a whopping 71% of all H-1B approvals went to Indian nationals. So whether it was intentional or not, this policy is going to hit talent from India the hardest, by a long shot. Okay, so this brings us to what everyone is talking about, the obvious tech impact, right? This is the story you're seeing in all the headlines, the first and, let's be honest, the most predictable consequence of a policy like this. So you see this, and the first thing you think is, okay, they're trying to put the squeeze on big tech, right? It seems designed to hurt companies that rely on foreign talent and maybe the students who want those jobs. And look, that's not wrong, but it is absolutely not the full story. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The market reacted exactly how you'd expect, swiftly. The Indian IT index dropped about 3% almost immediately. And you saw major firms, the big names like TCS and Infosys, their stock prices took a nosedive. This is the clear, black and white financial hit on the tech sector. But is that it? Is this story really just about IT jobs and software engineers? Is that the only thing we should be looking at? The answer is a big, fat no. And this right here is where things get really interesting. This is where we uncover India's hidden financial ripple, the profound, the totally unexpected, and the completely underreported impact this is about to have on its massive finance industry. I mean, just think about it for a second. It's not just tech that needs global talent. The finance world is all about it. We're talking super specialized roles here, like quant analysts, the folks who do complex risk modeling, corporate finance experts, even consultants at the Big Four who are constantly working with U.S. clients. Guess what? A ton of those people use this exact same visa. So you can see how this one change sets off a whole chain reaction, right? First, operationally, the cost to staff these cross-border projects just balloons. That puts a huge squeeze on the profit margins for any financial firm with ties to the U.S. And that could slow down foreign investment, big deals, the whole nine yards. And just like we saw at the IT index, it wouldn't be a surprise to see financial services stocks start to feel the pain too. And this is where it gets really complicated and kind of fascinating. You could see this brain drain suddenly go into reverse. Now, on the one hand, that's a potential loss of foreign money coming back into India. But on the other hand, what if all that incredibly skilled talent comes home? That could be a massive win for India's own domestic industries. It's a real double-edged sword. But look, no policy exists in a vacuum. To really get the full picture, we have to look at the other side of the coin. Let's dig into the context here and the why behind this whole thing. Okay, so the official reason, this stated goal, is to prioritize American workers and crack down on what some people see as abuse of the visa system. But there are a few things that might soften the blow. Like we said, it's only for new applications. And let's be real, for a job that's absolutely critical, a big company might just eat that cost. Plus, you can bet your bottom dollar that the Indian government and all the big industry groups are already gearing up for a major diplomatic fight. So, if you're in India's finance sector, what do? What's the playbook for this new reality? Let's explore some of the strategic moves they can make to navigate this. All right, so a pretty clear 5-step game plan starts to take shape. Step 1, you've got to reevaluate your entire staffing and cost models, top to bottom. That probably leads to Step 2, expanding your offshore operations and other global hubs so you're not so dependent on the US. Step 3 is about turning that brain drain reversal into a positive by incentivizing talent to come back home. Meanwhile, step 4 is about lobbying and diplomacy. And finally, step 5, the big one, is doubling down on technology and automation to make physical location less and less important. So let's bring it all home. We started with all the headlines screaming about tech, but the real story, the one with the lasting impact, it's a financial shockwave. It's incredible to think that this one single policy has the power to completely change the flow of talent, the direction of money, and maybe even the fundamental way that business is done between the US and India. And that really leaves us with this huge question, doesn't it? How can just one policy so drastically reshape the global flow of talent and capital? It's a pretty stark reminder of just how interconnected everything is, and how one political decision can send ripples across the entire world.